Good day and welcome to another interesting day on the Datti Family TV. This is Diaspora Diaries, a program where we get to interact with Nigerians in the diaspora that are in support of the Datti movement. My name is P. Catch, and with me in the studio is my co-host,
Sharon and Chuku.
Yes, the beautiful, delectable.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome once again to the show. And today on the program, we have another distinguished Nigerian who is in the diaspora, making a difference and also in support of the Datti movement. We have joining us live on Zoom, Mr. Christopher Udoye. Hello, Mr. Christopher. Hello, Mr. Christopher. Yes. Please, we'd like to know where are you calling us from?
So I'm calling from Germany. So
from Germany.
Yeah.
Okay. How is the weather in Germany today?
Yeah, it's good. It's a little bit cold, but it's fine.
Okay. I can see that you're looking very cool. So we're going to be talking about the Datti campaign. You are very much aware with what is happening in Nigeria at the moment. We are gearing up for the 2023 general elections, and it's going to be a very historic moment, okay, for a lot of us in Nigeria. So first of all, tell me about your support for Datti. Why did you start supporting Mr. P2B and Yusuf Datti Baba Ahmed, and why are you participating in these elections?
Why I'm supporting him is because I think he's the best candidate. He has a blueprint of what he wants to do, and it's very feasible. It's not the usual blueprints like most the past contenders usually give to us, but he has a good track record. So that's the reason I want Anobi as a president. And the reason I also wanted to be a president because I'm a Nigerian, and even if you are in any part of the world, we always want to be back home at some point to have a good country where at least you can invest things that you learned maybe way abroad, so they can bring it back home for Nigeria as a country. So that's why I think I support him and why I chose him as my preferred candidate.
Right. Are you in touch with other Nigerians in Germany, probably
Yes.
around where you stay?
Yes.
How did you feel about these elections?
Every Nigerian I've met always they want Anobi to be the president. They want P2 to be the president. So everyone wants him because they feel he has what it takes to put Nigeria in the world map. So because I believe Nigeria as a country has one of the best people in terms of talent in doing different things entirely. Like you can check any sector it is, if it's entertainment, if it's sports, we have the talent, but the problem is like we are not able to put everything together and bring it back home. It's most people want, most of my friends or most Nigerians I've met want Obi to be the president. That's most basic. Yeah.
All right. Since you say most of the people around you there in Germany want Obi to be the next president of Nigeria, my next question is this. What are you guys doing? What are Nigerians in Germany doing, okay, to support the movement, the Datti movement at home?
I don't know about other people. A few people I know what they did, but I can speak for myself, what I've done. I think what I've done is just sensitize people back home, because I noticed I will give an example. My family members, I have 3 siblings, so they were really reluctant about getting their voters card and also voting process and also taking part in this coming election. So I had to kind of forcefully push for it, so for them to get it. So it's at least one step in the right direction. So also sometimes also contribute money-wise, monetarily to the Obi's campaign. So I want, that's the little I can do. I can't be there, but I can do that contribute my own quota. So that's what I know I did, basically. But I think people in diaspora can do a lot more by telling people back home, maybe family members, colleagues, to go out there and vote. There's no way, prayers don't work when it comes to voting. You have to vote. If you don't vote, it doesn't count. So we have to vote and try as much as possible to make sure the right man is the person who gets the job.
Okay, that's amazing. What would you like to see happen differently in Nigeria?
I would love to see, at least for Nigeria as a country, first and foremost, I want to see Nigeria as a country have a better image, because image-wise, although in diaspora, there are a lot of Nigerians doing really genuine good stuff and also making an impact abroad. I want Nigeria to have a good image. So it starts from the president. So if the president, and also the appointments. So we want generally Nigeria first to have a good image, and the international community sees Nigeria as a country that has potential to grow. Then also I also think we need an enabling environment for investors. So because I want a lot of investors to come back to Nigeria, especially Nigerians in diaspora who wants to do like maybe a business, maybe open a company or do some other stuff. They need an enabling environment. And we know our power sector is in shambles now. So that's at least the first thing he has to do, improve the power sector at least to attract foreign investors back into Nigeria. At least with the power sector, then maybe security also is important. We could also do that to make Nigeria attractive, at least for a place where the foreign investors can come back to put their resources.
That's amazing, and I would also want to see that happen. Okay, we've heard a lot of things about the one attribute in particular that stands out for you.
I think what I love about P2B is his simplicity. He's a very simple man. So because I think I don't know if this is generally true, but I think most times we Nigerians always have this thought that a leader has to be really harsh and hard So I think a better leader is one who is compassionate, understands the problem of the people, and wants to find ways to solve it. And that's what I like about Peter. He's simple, compassionate, tries to understand the problem. He goes there himself to see what the issue is in order to solve it. So not someone who comes out and is bossy or feels because he's the president, he can do as he wish. So, but he follows the rule of law. He at least sees everyone as important as himself in making Nigeria better. So that's why one attribute I love about P2B.
Okay, let's come to INEC now. As an observer from Germany and observing the politics in Nigeria and the political space, do you have faith in INEC?
I would say yes, or I would say yes. It's a yes and a no. I think after the election, I can give a good answer. I'm not sure, but with what I've seen so far, I think they could do something. But we know Nigeria is a country full of surprises. Even when you have everything in place that everything should work, something could also go wrong. So I can't really give a conclusive answer until the elections are done. So.
Okay. Let's talk about the international community now. Do you think there is a role that the international community can play in ensuring a free and credible elections? Okay, we understand that in less than 24 or 25 days, about 25 days, we'll be getting set for the presidential elections. Is there something that the international community can do to, make sure that this process is credible and probably no violence emanates, okay, from the aftermath of the election?
I think what we could do is encourage people to vote, support groups that could support groups back home that could mobilize people and also encourage people to be out there as long as it takes, even if it takes the whole day to vote, and also try to monitor the elections. So basically, monitor the elections. Maybe I think use of things like technology involving a lot of technology in terms of monitoring of elections. Maybe use of drones and different polling units and stuff. So that it's basically technological wise, just involving more technology. But from people back home, what they could do is basically they could just fund organizations that want to do this. So because most of them can't be there, so they could just fund organizations that could maybe introduce technology in terms of vote monitoring and also sensitization, even on that day, to sensitize people to stay, even if it requires a long time to vote, they should stay back and try to perform their social responsibility.
Okay. I also want us to look at the international community as countries.
Yeah.
And talking about countries, I'm talking about world power, maybe the UK or the US. Is it important or necessary that they play such a supervisory role in the election?
Yes.
Would you advise that?
Yes, I think it's important they do something like that because as we all know, Nigeria has a population of 200 million plus, last time they counted 200 million plus. So if there is if Nigeria is destabilized and that huge number tries to leave, it could lead to a lot of problems, especially with immigration in these countries. And I think supporting Nigeria for Nigeria to be stable and have a stable economy will be to an advantage to them. Also, in terms of labor, they could easily, if Nigeria has a good economy and everything is going good, and they have a lot of well-trained graduates or technocrats, or depending on the sectors, they could also gain from this because they could also get labor. Maybe, especially, I think places like ICT. I think Nigeria is doing better; it's improving yearly. So we could have Nigerians who could go to these countries to work in areas like ICT or other sectors. So it's a win-win for them. So if they do not support that, then there's a destabilization in the country, and they will have to fund maybe for reliefs. But if they support the best candidates, they will benefit immensely from it.
All right. Thank you very much. Even though I know some people may not agree with you, because some people have this mindset of conspiracy theories that when the superpowers get involved, they will try to, take their share of the cake and probably cause confusion and make money out of war. There's so many conspiracy theories around that. But you are of the opinion that they should come in, step in, and probably supervise the process. All right, we'll hold it there, and we'll go on a very short break now. But when we come back, we still have Mr. Christopher Udoye from Germany talking to us. Stay right there.
Hello, this is my message to the Nigerian youths. I am glad that we have this great opportunity to discuss about the future of this country, Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to all of us, but to the youths most especially. I am super proud of what the youths have done, the realization that indeed the power lies with the youth. Indeed, successive governments and leadership have failed the youths. They've dismissed their capacity, the creativity, innovation, and this is why we are where we were. I am here to speak to you that not only am I proud of you, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, is super proud of you. We are proud of the movement you're leading and all the sacrifices being made for a better Nigeria. I can tell you, P2B means well for Nigerian youths. He will run a youth-inclusive government and purposeful leadership that will usher in a new dawn for generations to come. Job issues, unemployment, and indeed all the other hazards that we face as a younger generation, I believe will be a thing of the past, at least reduced significantly. I'm here to remind you that we are the last lap of this race, when we all need to come to the consciousness that the effort we're going to put in the next coming weeks can change our trajectory completely and positively.
So I want to urge you,
do what you can to keep on the fight until a better Nigeria is achieved. You need to make sure that you realize again that you're actually the one running for presidency, just using P2B and Datti Baba Ahmed as symbol. We are coming for a better Nigeria. This is time to vote for Labour Party. The logo.
You're welcome back to Diaspora Diary on Datti Family TV. This is a program where we get to interact with Nigerians in the diaspora that are in support of a good government, okay? And of course, Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti Baba Ahmed. We have joining us on Zoom a distinguished Nigerian living in Germany, Mr. Christopher Udoye, who we have been talking about the past quarter of an hour. Mr. Christopher, I want to discuss the obedience movement now. A lot of people have said that this is the first of its kind in Nigeria. Personally, I know that for the most part of my adulthood, this is the first of its kind for me. I haven't seen anything like this, where you have young people about the country, from all parts of the country, the north and the south, in support of one man. And it's amazing with the culture that we have in Nigeria today that, this man's slogan is, we know they give shishi, and people are not induced, by money or material things. They are doing it willingly. How would you explain the obedience movement?
I think the movement, it's a miracle. It was unexpected. It's a movement that I think its time is here, and I think it's the movement that will put Nigeria back on its course to greatness. So it's a movement that involves a lot of youths, and it's organic. That's one thing I love about it. It's not it's not a movement that started out of lobbying or monetary purpose of getting any personal gain. It was an organic movement that the youth started. So that's one thing I love about it, and I think it's the right movement to put Nigeria back on its track. So it's
okay. I would want to ask the question: is there a difference between the obedient movement and NSAS protest?
I think it's. I think the obedient movement. I think it's an offshoot of the NSAS protest. So it was the NSAS protest was the youth waking up and demanding a better government, and we knew what happened. The government tried to shut them down, but they remobilized and reorganized themselves as they. And now we have the Obi Datti movement that is launched. So we are young people waiting for P2B as the president. So I think it's a result of the it's the offshoot or a result of the NSAS protest.
Okay. Because some people would argue that the obedient movement is entirely different, but I think I see where you're coming from. Okay, I think I want to ask another question. You mentioned that the obedient movement is something that every Nigerian is very passionate about because we are waking up. I want to ask, what is it about this time, in your own opinion, that has caused people to wake up, in quote?
I think this time I'm very impressed with the support like the youths put into it, not only for the youths from different regions of the country. So it's rare to see youth from, because we know how Nigeria is highly divided along religious and social ethnic lines, but we see that youth from different parts of the world support one person because they see something genuine in him. That is, he wants to transform Nigeria into something, a place that could be enabling for everyone. So it's the impressive thing I've seen from the movement, that the support from youth from all parts of Nigeria.
Okay, so one more question from me. Do you think that this awakening that is upon the youth of Nigeria and basically just everybody is going to continue, or is it just a one-time thing for Datti?
It's difficult to say, but I think it will continue because now everyone has spoken up, and I think it will continue from this point. So at least the politicians know that it's not business as usual. You have to have something. You have to present something for us to vote for you, not just come in with it's my turn, or I'll give opportunities to my associates. It's more what you have to tell us what you want to do. You have to show us your blueprint and also have a good track record. So it's good because it raises the bar for anyone who wants to take up the job of being the president of Nigeria.
Yes. I think everybody is beginning to tighten up their belts now. I think it was a host of our program earlier was saying that the way politics and campaigns are being run in Nigeria now has changed. In the past, we saw people would go to the streets to eat corn with corn sellers and
Agbado.
Gimmicks just to prove that they are in touch with the people when they are absolutely alienated. Okay. Now P2B has come and we're having campaign of issues, topical campaigns, and we're addressing the issues that the people have. All right. I would also like to find out from you, well, from your own opinion, how would you rate the publicity and sensitization? Okay, the publicity, first of all, of Mr. P2B himself, marketing himself to Nigerians. Do you think he has done a good job marketing himself and selling his manifesto to Nigerians? Let's start with that.
I think he has done a very fantastic job based on the time he had, because he knew when he joined Labour Party and when he was made a presidential candidate, when they chose him as a presidential candidate. Based on the time he had, he did a good job. He presented himself as good as he could, and I think it's now our job as Nigerians to decide. So because he has done his best, bringing himself out. Because if I think about it, if I were P2B, I wouldn't want, if I were someone who had the level of experience and work that he did, I would want to be bothered up with the Nigerian problem. It's a lot for someone to want to take up, but he wants to start this process of rebuilding Nigeria. So from that stand, I think it's basically a good thing if
Yeah, it is. But apart from becoming the president of Nigeria, do you think that the person of Mr. P2B is going to serve as an inspiration to Nigerian youths and maybe other youths abroad?
Yes, it's an inspiration because now we see that at least people who come up for the campaigns of Nigerian president could, at least their levels could be improved, or they could be better candidates. So because it always baffles me with Nigeria, with the level of talent we have all over the world and also within Nigeria, we present, I usually call them jokers as presidents, people who wouldn't even make it as state governors or even commissioners in other parts of the world. We present them as presidents. So I think it's more like it's encouraging at least people who know they could do something, could put themselves out there to at least make a change.
All right. Just take your mind back a few months ago when this whole movement started. Some of the politicians mentioned the movement was just on social media, that it was just a social frenzy that would die down very soon. But I believe that they were shocked and beyond surprised with the way the movement caught fire all over the country with the 1 million man marches that took place around Nigeria, even outside Nigeria. Now, I want you to tell me, do you think Labour Party and the obedient movement has structure? What would you say about the structure of the Labour Party and the obedient movement?
I think when it comes to structure, I think human beings are the structure. Like when you talk about structure in a party, it's just having party members going down there to the polling units, looking at what happens in each polling unit. So structure are human beings, as long as you have enough people who can be down there at the polling unit, enough Nigerians or Labour Party members who can be down there at the polling unit, monitor what happens during the electoral process in their polling unit, then I think that's more than enough structure. So I think with the huge public support, it's more than enough structure. So it's what is left is for every supporter of the Datti movement should at least do their best or do their little part to monitor their elections at their wards. So that's the structure is there. It's just we're taking action. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I believe the Labour Party and the Datti movements as it is right now has the biggest structure in Nigeria. Okay. Sure, what is this?
To ask something, he was talking about Labour Party and the structure. But you know how we used to say we have PDP, APC as the two major parties. Do you think that after this election, Labour Party is going to make it in that category as one of the major parties in the country, not just after this election? I mean, going forward.
Yes, I think it's possible. It's possible. I see the possibility that after this election going forward, Labour Party will be a major party in the presidential election. And if Obi, God willing, gets the seat, then it will be a boost for the party, and more youths and young people, and also well-meaning Nigerians who want to make a change will join the party.
Yeah. One more question, sorry. You know how Peter Obi is different from other candidates in the sense that he is the youngest candidate currently running for presidency in the country. How do you see that making ways for youth who are interested in politics or who are interested in government running for political positions?
Yeah, I think it's him even being there to as a presidential candidate with his age, which in some places is still considered old. But I think in Nigeria, currently with the condition we have now, he's the youngest candidate and he's the most capable. I think it will encourage a lot of young people to be out there to fight for leadership positions or to vouch for leadership positions where at least they have the strength, the youth, the intellect to be able to lead Nigeria into the right direction.
All right. Finally, as we begin to, draw this whole interview to a close, I would like you to just give us a word of encouragement to all obedient members, home and abroad. What would you say to them?
I think Obi is as a candidate, Datti as candidates for president and the vice president of Nigeria is an opportunity, and I hope we grab it with both hands, and we do all we can to make sure that that someone like the Obi and is the president of Nigeria. It's an open check and a very good opportunity, and I hope we utilize it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Christopher Odoye. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
All right, Sharon.
That was something.
Yes, people are so optimistic. A lot of people are so optimistic that Peter Obi is going to emerge the winner of the coming election. To believe them, right?